So please let me know so that I will clarify. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, today we are going to start the new concept, which is a accounts payable concept. The interest concept I will cover later on, because the reason being that we would require even accounts payable, accounts receivable also. Okay, when we are going to talk about the interest calculation. So now I am going to start the accounts payable concept. Okay, you need to understand from here. Okay, you will, I mean, so from here onwards, okay, in I mean, GL is the central, okay, for all your transactions. Now after completion of the GL, you need to aware all the, okay, accounts payable, it is a one of the sub module. Okay, let me explain you one by one. Okay, so now today we are going to start the, okay, accounts payable concept. Okay, please concentrate from here onwards. Okay, the GL account we have discussed. Okay, the GL account is a central component in finance. Okay, if you want to prepare any financial transactions, whether it's a accounts payable, accounts receivable, or asset accounting, whatever it may be, the sub modules which need to be interlinked with the GL accounts. Okay, so that is the reason GL accounting is a central hub. Okay, and also it's a heart for SAP. Okay, not only for SAP, for every business entity to prepare the financial transactions, GL, general ledger accounting, is a heart. Okay, without without having the GL accounting, okay, without implementing the general ledger accounting, you cannot implement other modules. Remember, other modules in the sense accounts payable, whatever it may be, accounts receivable, bank accounting, whatever it may be, that GL accounting, general ledger, is one of the important topic. Now we are going to see accounts payable. Accounts payable. Okay, now in normal scenario, in the sense, let us assume now I don't have SAP. Now for my client, we do not have the SAP at this point of time. Okay, how the accounting entries are takes place. Okay, then first of all, before getting to start this one, accounts payable is one of the sub ledger in SAP. Okay, just keep in mind, but I will explain you in detail. Okay, why we are going to call it as a sub ledger, I will explain you later on. Okay, accounts payable is one of the sub ledger in SAP. Okay, it's one of the sub ledgers, sub ledger concept. Now in normal accounting, how the accounting entries which we are going to post. Okay, now in normal accounting scenario, in normal accounting, okay, then what we are going to post. Okay, so let us assume for purchases. Okay, purchases are expenses, okay, which we can use for vendor postings. Now let me take an example. In normal accounting, the accounting entry would be the accounting entry, what I am going to post is a purchase account. Purchase account is going to debit, then to my, to vendor account. Okay, since we are purchasing from the vendor will be credited, my purchase account will be debited. Okay, this is the in normal accounting, eh, uh, in normal accounting entry. Okay, where we are going to see this one. Now in SAP, it's this completely the concept which has been changed here. Okay, now in SAP, when I am going to, okay, when I am going to purchase, or if it is expenses related also, okay, service related expenses we can post even for vendors also. You already aware of this one. Now in SAP, how the accounting entry takes place. Okay, then now here what is going to happen here is the, now The purchase account, okay, the purchase account, let us take the same account. Purchase account is going to debit the same. This is the same what it is there in normal. But now when we are doing the credit entry to the vendor account, okay, in SAP we have a, okay, this the purchase account, this is a general ledger, okay, general ledger. We must require GL account to post this one. Then to vendor account, whenever I am going to post, okay, I need to define, okay, I need to have a separate GL account, okay, for this vendor. Okay, then let me explain you the subledger. Subledger GL account, subledger GL account to be required. Okay, why I would require is a subledger postings. Why I would require is a sub account? Because here you need to remember, one is a vendor account. Okay, let me explain you here. For purchase account, maybe I have the GL account number 123. In normal accounting scenario, for vendor account, maybe I have the, this is the GL, this is the vendor account number. Okay, this is the GL is the master data. This is the master data. But now in SAP, in terms of SAP, we would require is a total 3 accounts to be required. Okay, what are the 3 accounts? Okay, one is the, this one is a general ledger accounting. This is a quite common way where we have seen. Okay, then let me assume for postings is a general ledger. This is the one. Then for vendor, whenever I'm going to post the vendor account, maybe I'm going to create vendor master data. Vendor master data, the number, this is the vendor number, remember. Then the one more account which I would require is a GL account. Okay, GL account is a sundry creditors account which I would require, because vendor, if I have purchased something from the vendor or some transactions, okay, it is a liability for our organization. We have to make payment to that vendor. Okay, now this is the vendor account. Then the next one is a GL account is a required. Okay, 100. Okay, let I'm just taking an example here is the, okay, I'm just taking an example here is the, okay, this is the GL account. This is the GL account. This is the vendor account. Then this is the GL account, again the GL account. Okay, as compare with this one, as compare with the normal accounting scenario, why we would require is that this is, okay, this I will put it here is a sundry, okay, it's a reconciliation account. This GL account is a reconciliation account. For we'll see that one. But why we would require is a separate GL account here. Okay, please concentrate here. Now let us assume now I have the vendor masters. Okay, now I have the vendors, okay, where I am doing the transactions with a daily basis. Okay, so vendors I have the, okay, from one vendor I am purchasing raw material, from one vendor I am purchasing a different kind of raw material, from one vendor I am taking some services. Okay, let us assume now I have the vendor 1 2 3. Okay, now I have the 10 vendors. Let us assume I just have taken an example is the 10 vendors. I have the 10 vendors. Okay, now for this vendor, let us a purchase related, the purchase related balance is a 10,000 rupees which is pending, it is there. Then here from this vendor is a advance it is there. Okay, advance it is there 5,000 rupees. Okay, which we have given advance. Okay, we have given advance in the sense it is a asset for us. Okay, remember. Then for this transaction, some expense for this vendor which we have to make the payment, some services, some services related which we have to make the payment to this vendor. Like this, there are different kind of, okay, let me assume. Okay, now let me, just for advance, let me put it is a minus so that it is asset for us. Advance, then services, let me put it is a 40,000. So now in this situation, now you can see here, now here the total, how much? 5,88,000 it is there. Okay, remember the total, okay, including advances, the payable amount which I have to make payment to the vendors as on date. Remember, as on date, the balance which I have to make payment to the vendors, 5,88,000 rupees. But now, while preparing the financial statements, okay, while preparing the financial statements, I want to know, okay, for which vendor master is having the which open item. Okay, now maybe if I want to see, I have to go to the vendor master data and I have to see this vendor is having a 10,000 rupees open balance which is relevant for the purchases. Okay, now if I have a, in every business organization, they may have, okay, around, they may have many vendors accounts, many customers accounts at this point of time. Okay, if I want to see the balances of the all vendors, okay, it is a very difficult to see the all vendors, because what will happen if I want to see, okay, sometimes what system does, okay, if we have the more number of the volume of the records will be more, system will give the dump error in the sense system will not execute that particular transaction. Okay, so that is the reason we have a concept to call it as a, okay, subledger concept. Okay, subledger is a one of the concept where we are going to integrate into the, okay, this subledger, this GL account we are going to map into the GL account. Okay, into the vendor master data. Now let me take the example, this GL account, I am just taking this example. This is the GL account, is the reconciliation account. Now let me take this one. Now this is the amounts which are there. Now whenever I am performing the, whenever I am doing a transaction, either it's a purchase related, payment related, whatever it may be, okay, payment related transaction, what system does in SAP, the system first it will get update the value, okay, the purchase value it will get post into the vendor master data, and the second thing is that the same value it will get update into this the reconciliation account. Okay, so now here you can see here one reconciliation account I can assign for the multiple vendors. Okay, so meaning that, okay, now I have 1,000 vendors account. Okay, now out of 1,000 vendors, okay, what is my open balance? Okay, how can I see? If I directly go into that reconciliation account, I can see. So this we are going to call it as a reconciliation account. Reconciliation is nothing but where you are going to reconcile between the vendor and your GL balances. Okay, what is the balance? Okay, now, okay, reconciliation GL account, reconciliation general ledger. Okay, general ledger account, remember. Okay, reconciliation account is nothing but a where you are going to reconcile between the balances between your vendor master data as well as the GL accounts. Okay, so that is the reason we have a concept called it as the accounts payable concept we are going to call it as a subledger. Why we are going to call it as a subledger? Under vendor master data we are going to assign one more GL account, we are going to making relationship. Okay, so by assigning this GL account, at the same time whenever you are posting the entries to this vendor master in the front end, you cannot enter directly the GL account, but now you need to enter the vendor master data in front end screen, so that in the vendor master data already this GL account assignment it is there, so that based on that relationship that it will get updated. Maybe while seeing this you can able to see that it's not working. Okay, or else I will show you in S4 HANA system itself. Okay, don't worry. Because the configuration point of view, it is a both are same. If this will not work, then I will show you that one. Okay, get open. Hope you are also in the offline. You are also doing the same practice for ECC. because mine is a SSD, so that is the reason is as compared with your system it is too fast. Okay, SSD will have the capacity, I mean the 17 times more than RAM capacity. Okay, that is the reason my, I mean it is opening fast as compared with your. Okay, okay, then let me go here. Okay, now, okay, now this is the reconciliation account. We need to you need to aware few points about the reconciliation account. Please remember, this is the important for your interview also. Remember, please take a note if you want. Okay, then you can take a note what is the important for interview. Okay, you just take reconciliation account. Okay, further I will explain you the, okay, in detail. Okay, now the you understood what is the subledger concept, why we are going to call it. Okay, need to remember. Okay, we need to aware about reconciliation. About reconciliation, we need to aware the following about reconciliation account. The first one, number one is a while creation of general ledger master, okay, GL account. Okay, we must have to select reconciliation respective reconciliation account option. Okay, where we are going to where option, okay, where we are going to select this one. I will show you this one. This you need to understand. Okay, then let me open the system where we are going to. Okay, because I have not yet created, but I will show you for other company code. Me let me take go to the FS00 transaction code for creation of the GL masters. Okay, now let me, I will change the company code here. Because for this company code I have implemented input output sundry creditors. Where is that sundry creditors? Okay, now this is the GL account sundry creditors what I have created. Now while creation of the GL account, what I have mentioned, the point here is that I have mentioned while creation of the general ledger master, we must have to select the respective reconciliation account type. Okay, reconciliation account type here. Okay, how we need to select that one? Okay, come here, while creation of the, come to the control data. Now you can see here where you are going to selecting that reconciliation account type. Okay, if this GL account only we have the 4 account types. Okay, now for us we are going to discuss assets, customers and vendors, because contract accounts receivables we have a separate module. FICA, okay, it's a finance and contract accounts. Okay, if that module will get implemented, then this reconciliation account type can be used, but this is not applicable for us. Okay, remember, vendors and customers assets. Okay, now these three are the sub modules in SAP. Okay, now here the relevant here is that, okay, it's a vendor related, so that is the reason I have selected the reconciliation account type is a vendor. You just, okay, you need to select the appropriate. If it is a vendor, you can select vendor. If it is a customer, you can select the customer. If it is asset, you can select the asset. Then remember, open item management does not applicable for the, okay, reconciliation account. You need to remember this thing also. Okay, then the second thing is that open item management option does not applicable for reconciliation GL account. Okay, remember. Then the third one is that we cannot do direct postings into the reconciliation account. So why we are okay now? Open item management option does not applicable for the reconciliation account. Even if you select this option also, the system will throw you the error message stating that let us try now. Let us try now. Open item management. Enter. Okay, enter. I just have entered. Then try to save this one. What system will say? Okay, because you need to understand this one. If you understood, now you can see open item management is not defined for the reconciliation account. You cannot. Okay, so this is what system is giving the message. So meaning that this it is not applicable. This open item management option does not applicable for the reconciliation accounts. Remember. Then the next thing is that what I have mentioned, the next thing is we cannot do direct postings into the reconciliation account. So since this GL account is a reconciliation account, so we cannot do direct postings. What is mean by direct postings? Okay, let me show you. Okay, this is a GL account. What we are talking about, sundry creditors. Now let me take this GL account. Okay, let me take this GL account. Let me go to the F-02 for postings. For I will show you, because practically you need to understand the logic. Okay, I'll give any one date. Okay, I just take this company code only. Just only we want to see the system response. Now I have given the reconciliation account. Let's see what system. Posting period 10 is not opened. Okay, this I will do that one. Posting period slash and OB52 even. Let me 52 for TS. Okay, let me open this one. This one, okay. Then let me post this one. Now you can see here account 100 500 in company code TS01 cannot be directly posted. Okay, meaning that why system is showing this message? The reason being that this is the reconciliation account. Okay, as I mentioned here, we cannot do directly posting. So why system is not allowing? Because since it is a reconciliation account, and at the same time this reconciliation account is already assigned into the vendor master data. Let me show you that one also. Okay, go the transaction code XK03. Let me go here. Okay, let me select any one of the vendor master, any one of the select the all. Now this is a vendor master data. Now you can see here under this vendor master data, I have assigned this reconciliation account. What will happen? Whenever I do the postings to this vendor master data, the same data it will get transmitted to into this, it will get updated or transmitted into this reconciliation account. Okay, so and moreover it is a reconciliation account, so that could be the reason system does not allow us to post the direct entries. You need to remember this one. And also the reconciliation account can be used for further reconciliation purpose. Okay, you need to remember these points. These points are very important one for your in. Okay, if you understood this concept well, so that it will be easy for you to understand others also. Others meaning that okay, accounts payable and accounts receivable concept also you can able to understand easy. Okay, so that is the reason, please. Okay, now. Okay, so anyone is having any further query about the subledger and the reconciliation account? Fine. And also one more thing. Now in SAP, the important thing is that note in SAP The finance module does not support for material related postings. Okay, why I have mentioned this one, you need to understand. For material related postings in SAP, we have a separate module is available. Material management is a separate module, okay, where we are going to have a, now if I want to post directly into FI, what will happen directly? Let us assume if I am going to post the accounting entry into F-43, let us F-43 or FB60, which one for vendor postings. Now here, if you can see here, there is no option to enter the material. Okay, now even though if there is an option to enter my material quantity value, okay, there is a field, it is there, but now the price, okay, it should be determined by automatically, because users doesn't know price, okay, which price need to key sometimes, okay, then the tax calculations and all system need to calculate, freight calculations, everything should be calculated, and also storage location, under which storage location we want to store the the materials. And okay, so what is the division, okay, what is the say purchasing organization, okay, all this information does not available in the finance. So that is the reason we have a separate module for all your purchase related transactions, that is the material management module. Remember, that is what I just mentioned the note here also. Okay, then now let us go for the configuration. What are the basic configurations to be required? Okay, now let me, okay, then the basic configuration. Okay, full, let me now go to the SPRO, financial accounting, accounts receivable and accounts payable, vendor accounts, master data. Okay, here directly I cannot create master data, okay, because what we are having, okay, in real time what will happen, let us assume vendors, I have a different types of vendors are there. Different types of vendors in the sense where I am purchasing the raw materials in the within India. Okay, if there is a requirement, I'm going and purchasing the raw material, importing raw material from the outside India. Okay, these are the material, these are the raw material vendors, okay, within local and local vendors and import vendors. Then where some vendors are providing services, okay, services, my office cleaning or some painting or some contractors, okay, so for them I need to have a separate, because each and every vendor, okay, for import vendors I need to recognize with a different number. For local raw material suppliers I need to recognize with a different number. For service vendors I need to recognize with a different number. And also in organizations, because if you are working for one organization, you are employee to that organization, because you are also, they are also treating you as a vendor, okay, meaning that you are providing service. On behalf of the service they are making salaries to you. Okay, so because so you are also one of the employees, so HR vendors also, so all employees will be treated as a, okay, vendors also. For all these, if I want to differentiate each and every vendor, how can I differentiate? Okay, I would require is a separate groups. Okay, I would require is a separate vendor groups, define account groups, then click on the new entries. Okay, I am defining the groups. Okay, then how I am going to define Z, okay, otherwise AV, okay, AV01, okay, local raw material suppliers, then okay, one time vendor concept is a separate concept, okay, where we are going to do the dealing business with only once in a lifetime. Okay, in such situation, okay, the one time vendor concept will come into the picture. Okay, now whenever I'm going to create my vendor master data, what are all the required fields to be required? Okay, now come to here in the general data, there are three options are there. Okay, there are three field statuses groups are there, field statuses controls are there. One is the general data, another one is a company code data, Then another one is the purchasing organization data. Okay, I have the three options here. Now I have the three options here. Now okay, so here if you can see here, I have the three options. Okay, now general data does not require for me. Then company code data, click on company code data. Then account management. While creation of vendor master data, what is to be required for me? Okay, for me is a reconciliation account is a mandatory for me. So I am just selecting this one is a required field. The reconciliation account is a mandatory for me. Okay, the reconciliation account is a mandatory for me. I am just selecting this one. Then save it. The group which I have created is a local. Then I am going to create the new one. Just copy this one, AV01, AV02, put it. Then import. You can put it as instead of local, import raw material suppliers. Okay, because which I am copying. Okay, already the setup which is there, the reconciliation account. Then I am copying again, AV03. Okay, service vendors. Then enter, save it. Then select this one. If you want, you can define the HR vendors and all. Okay, if it is a employee vendors you have already implemented, you can select the vendors also. Then come back. Then the next one is that okay, then come to the create number ranges. Okay, number ranges for the vendor accounts. Okay, now here in this step, as I have explained here, okay, now if you want to recognize each vendor group, okay, for local vendors and for import vendors and for service vendors, you should have a separate number ranges, right, to recognize that one. Okay, click on the okay, click on the intervals. Now you can check here because already there are numbers which already been defined. Okay, now here also internal number range, external number range concept which is applicable here. Now you can select here which number is not available. You need to maintain that number here. Okay, now if I want to add interval, select this one, A1. Let me add the A1 from number. Okay, if you have any doubt, you just take the drop down here, which number is available, system will show you. Okay, which number is available, the next number. Okay, let me select this one. Okay, then 600, 499. Let me give this one. Okay, then similar than the number. Okay, 3000. Okay, let me give this one. Now please enter from number 6,600, 3,000. Okay, let me okay, something it is wrong. Okay, let me enter manually. 6,600. Okay, let me enter this one. Okay, now it is taking. Now I have defined the okay, now here also you can use one number range for all your vendor masters. Then you can use the different numbers. Okay, now I am going to use the different number ranges. Okay, A1 I have defined, A2 I am going to define. Okay, select this one, drop down, select this one, then 600, 500, put it this 6,000, 4. Okay, here is the 5,000. This is the one. Now it is accepting. Okay, then add interval, then A3, then go to the drop down and select this one, 600, 6,000. Okay, select, save it. Now I have created the number ranges for now. Assign the number ranges to the vendor groups. Okay, now here I
Anna, I
have
have a question regarding this number range.
Tell me.
How many types of number ranges we have, like AP, AR, GL?
See,
For each
number.
module, we are maintaining different number ranges, or it will be universal for all?
No, not universal. How you can say universal? It is a different for each and every module, Shankar. Okay, it will not be the same Okay, the number
Oh.
ranges are two types. One is internal and external. Okay, we have taken is the internal number range, but now each and every module you need to maintain separate number ranges, Shankar.
Okay, got it,
Okay,
got it.
yeah, it's not the same. It's not the
Oh,
same.
okay.
Fine. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Then select the A1. Okay, because I know that one A1. Here is the A2. Then put it is the A3. Enter. Because see, these are the groups we have created: local raw material suppliers, import raw materials, then service vendors. Okay, for this I have created individual number ranges. Okay, to recognize, then save it. Okay, now after creation of this one, we have assigned the number ranges. Then the next one is that tolerance groups. Okay, the tolerance group of the vendors. Okay, this is also one of the thing. Then come back. Financial accounting, I think we have already defined, but we need to cross check once again. Accounts receivable and accounts payable, then business transactions, then it's outgoing payments, then manual outgoing payments, define tolerances for the vendors. I hope I have already done, but let's see. Okay, A001, it's not defined. Okay, let me select this one. Company code A001. Don't give anything, group and all, just enter. Okay, save it. That's it. Okay, don't give, I mean, in real time, something they will maintain, but depends on the business requirement, gain and loss, some percentages. Okay, here for our testing purpose does not require. Then once we do that one, then tolerance groups, then let us define the GL masters. Okay, let us define for the GL masters. Okay, /n FS00. Okay, now the same account which I am going to define for the A001. Oh, A001 for outstanding expenses I have defined. Okay, let me give the different number. Okay, this number does not exist. Okay, this number which is not available. Okay, now then click on the create. Remember, click on the create. Then since it is a one series is a balance sheet account, you need to remember balance sheet. Then it's the liabilities. Okay, this one is the sundry creditors. Sundry creditors, you can take this one, sundry creditors. Okay, and also remember one more thing: the sundry creditors reconciliation account, while defining, maybe remember, while defining, I may have the, okay, so I can define the sundry creditors reconciliation account for service vendor separate account. I can define separate GL account for my local suppliers. I can define separate reconciliation account for my imports. Okay, depends on your requirement. Remember, depends on your requirement. Okay, I will mention here sundry creditors for sundry creditors local, or I will mention sundry creditors for okay, for local RM suppliers. Remember. Okay, let me select this one. Now come to the control data. Okay, then you must have to select this one is a vendor. Okay, you need to select this one is a vendor account. Then line item display is required. Then here you need to select G001. Okay, so while defining this one, okay, then for vendor is it, I believe 012. Okay, let us display, okay, vendor number which we want to see, the vendor number which we want to see. Then go to the here, the field status group also it will be differ. Remember, the field status group also it will be differ. Okay, the field status group is a G067 for the reconciliation account posting. Select this one. Sorry, select this one, then save it. Now we have created the reconciliation account. Now let me create a one more GL account. one more GL account. Okay, just for let me create a one more GL account, since it is a balance sheet account and asset account. Assets related two series is the asset series. Okay, purchase account. Purchase account. Then this one is does not applicable. Okay, then select the line item display. Select this one, vendor account. Then G001, you can select, quite common, G001, then save it. Then now what we have done, we have created the okay respective GL accounts for our vendors. Now let me go and create the vendor master data. Okay, now creation of the vendor master data. Okay, how can I create the vendor master data? /n. Okay, now let me go here. You need to, okay, again you need to focus here. Okay, we have discussed about the reconciliation account, that is fine. But now vendor master data creation. Now in SAP, to define the vendor master data or to create the vendor master data, I have the two ways are there. There are two ways are there to create the vendor master data. What are those ways? Then let me, the finance vendor, then material vendors. Okay, finance vendors, then material vendors. Okay, so where we are going to differentiating the FI vendors and vendors. Both vendors are, we must have to differentiate. We must have to differentiate the, okay, both the vendors. Okay, finance vendors and as well as the material vendors. Okay, now how can I differentiate this one? How can I differentiate? Now creation of vendor master, creation, okay, creation of the FI vendor, creation of the finance vendor. I can use the FK01 is the transaction code. Okay, but now FK01, then change vendor master, change vendor master, I can use the FK02, then display vendor master FK03. Okay, now what is the difference? Okay, first let me describe the vendor also here, so that it will be easy for us to understand. Now then material vendor okay, material vendor creation. How, what is the transaction code? XK01, then finance vendor. Okay, I just have mentioned here. Material vendor creation, then change vendor this one, then XK02, then display vendor, then XK03. Okay, why I am considering, why we are seeing here is the FK01 and XK01. What is the difference between both? Okay, what is the difference between both? If we compare with the, okay, FI vendor and vendor, okay, there are two things are there. Okay, now we are seeing here is the, okay, now FI vendor and vendor. Okay, now what is the difference between? What is the difference between? Let us see the one by one. Okay, let us see the. Let me go to the first is the FK0. FK02. Let me go to the FK02 so that in the display mode you will have a clear visibility. Okay, enter. Then let me go to the one more screen. X/n XD02. I will put it the screens. XD03. Okay, still it is not displaying. Okay, XD01. Let me put it this one. Okay, now this will be easy. Okay. Okay, let me put it side by side. Now, okay. You can see here, this is the transaction code where it's a FK01. This is the transaction code. It's a XK01. Okay, so now, okay, this is a just I have taken is a for display purpose. Now, what is the difference between both? If we talk about what is the difference between both the, now you can see here. Here you can able to see here the general data. Okay, this one it's not giving. One moment. Let me do one thing. XK03. Now got it. Now got it. Now you can see here display. In the display you can see here. You can see here. Now I have the vendor number here. Vendor number it is there. Here vendor number option it is there. This is a quite common. Then company code it is there. Company code it is there. But now if you can see here the X the XK01 transaction code where you can see the purchasing organization, the additional option where you can see here additional option purchasing organization. Okay, now here the option which is not available. What is mean by purchasing organization? The purchasing organization is that where you are going to purchase the raw material. At that point of time, we must have to use this purchasing organization option. Okay, with this purchasing organization, we need to key some additional data inside. Okay, so where the purchasing organization field will come into picture, this vendor is relevant for the material vendor. Okay, you need to understand in this way as compare with the for FI vendor does not have the okay this purchasing organization option. So that is the reason I just have mentioned here is that two types of vendors are there. One is a FI vendor, vendor. But now at the moment, vendor does not required. Okay, vendor where we are going to implement the material management at that point of time, the vendor is to be required. Okay, so you need to understand in this way. If anyone is having any further queries, so please let me know. Then what I am trying to do now, I will create the vendor FI vendor FK01. Okay, FK01 vendor. You need to select the you must have to select the group. Okay, under which group you are creating your vendor master data. Okay, now select the account group. Okay, AV01, AV02, AV03. You can select any one of them. Let me select the service vendors. Under service vendors, I would like to create the vendor. Then enter. You can select title is a Mr. Mrs. company, whichever you want. You can select it company. Then let me here is the SB limited. Okay, let me give these are the vendors. Okay, search term ASB. If you want, you can put it as a ASB. Then street. This and all address. Industrial street. Then give this one where it is located, Pune, India. Enter. Then customer. Okay, now you can, that is the previous screen what we have seen. This is the general data. Okay, the address data which is applicable for, okay, for all company codes. If you want to extend this, say the same vendor, but now here there is no option, okay, in ECC 6. Okay, now in S4 HANA we have an option, call it as a, okay, BP, business partner. Okay, we will see that one over there, but now this is the general data. Now let me go to the next one. Now here sometimes what will happen, why we are seeing in the vendor master data there is a concept, call it as a customer. Why we are seeing here, sometimes what will happen, we are buying a raw material, we are rendering service from the, okay, ASB limited, let us assume. Okay, now so we are the customers, they are the service providers, vendors. Now at the same time we are also providing service to them. So meaning that if we will become vendors, if our Arvind group will become vendor, then they are the ASB limited is the customer. So in such situation, okay, then you need to create separate customer master data, then that customer master data need to assign here, we must have to assign here. So what will happen, then, if you have a thousand, if you have the, let us assume vendor transaction, you have a 10,000 open item. At the same time the customer is having the 5,000 rupees, 10,000 minus 5,000, what is the net amount which you have to make payment to that vendor is a 5,000 rupees. To in order to see the both vendor and customer transactions, you can implement this one. Okay, remember, you can, if you want. Then the next one, bank account transactions. Okay, what is the vendor bank account? Okay, but now when we will go into the, okay, vendor, I mean, accounts payable, at that point of time definitely we will see that one, this concept also. Okay, so the payment, where we are going to map the payment related bank under. Then next one, reconciliation account. Okay, cash management group, it is appearing. Okay, again let me select the reconciliation account. You can see automatically the system is displaying this one. Okay, now why the cash management group is enabled here. Okay, now in the field status group we must have to change, in the field status group we must have to change this one. Come here, financial accounting, the field status group, the controls you must have to change, vendor accounts, master data, preparations, define groups for the screen layouts. Come here, AV001, okay, service vendors which I have taken. Come to company code data, account management, see cash management option, even it is an optional entry, though the system is asking. Okay, select is a display only. Okay, then save it. Now system will not ask you, because the cash management option where you are going to implement your cash and liquidity management, that is not applicable for us. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, then enter. Now you can see, now you cannot see the cash management group, it's optional. Okay, select this one. Then the sort key 012, 012 is for the vendor. Okay, sorting. Then the terms of payment. Okay, terms of payment, whenever you do the purchases or whatever the transactions you can do in real time, what will happen? Okay, what will happen, you aware, okay, you might have aware, well and good. Okay, so the terms of payments are the terms of payments will play the key role. Okay, what is the terms of payments? Now whether you want to making the payment, once we provide the service, we make the payment, some 10% amount or 20% amount, or whether we do the installment payment. Okay, it depends on the situation. But now the terms of payment, anyhow we will discuss, okay, in detail. Terms of payment, normal payment term, there will have a separate setup is to be required. Okay, now at the moment I am going to select, these are the terms of payments are available, but now I will create there will be a separate session conducted for the terms of payments. Okay, now I am going to select this terms of payment at this moment, then enter. Dunning procedure does not applicable, then save it. Now I have created the vendor master data. Remember, I have created the vendor master data. Okay, now after creation of this one, now the postings and all, we'll see that one. Okay, we'll see in tomorrow session. Okay, up to now what we have discussed, if anyone is having any further queries, so please let me know. Anyone? If somewhere is lacking for you, if you people are not understanding properly, so something is not visible for you, so please let me know if you are not clear.